Whether you like it or not. Here we go. Five.
Only 5.
Only 5. The man deserves it.
Was all about the 5 count.
It absolutely was. We usually start with some music, so of course, to tie into this week, aside from remembering our guy, King Kong Bundy.
And I want to just say one thing before you hit that button.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys remember, we always here at the War Report somewhat paid a little homage to Bundy
That's
over
right.
the years. If you recall a little segment we used to have, the Freedman 5, the 5 count, which was based on
King Kong
Bundy's 5 count. And then in our intro music for that segment, we had, the 5 count. So another one taken way too early, and a really, really super guy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, go ahead. We'll get more into it, but
we will get more into all of this later. But that was for Bundy, a 5 count, of course. I didn't know it had all this before it. There we go.
Wow. Tweet that, bitch! It's about time.
It was what you've been waiting for since day one.
Yeah.
We got the heel turn. We got the Ronda that gives no fucks. And it was awesome. There's just one small piece to the pie that is missing.
What's that?
Paul Heyman.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to hear her talk anymore. Not because she can't do it, because she gets better and better. But now it's time for her to just kick ass, take names, and let Heyman do the talking, and then we're golden, in my opinion.
That would be a great image of Heyman with Brock and Ronda behind him.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, even if Brock wasn't in the picture, I feel like it would still be interesting because
But it makes as much sense even if he's in the picture just because of UFC.
Absolutely.
The whole deal is there. If eventually they call up Riddle, I mean, he could have a whole fucking, there's just so many they need to do. And listen, I don't care what anyone says. They listen to us. They listen to us. It's probably in my head, but they listen to us. And you want to know why? Because right after last week's show, if you guys were paying attention, we said during the show, the only thing that was missing for reality in that arrest segment with Becky was booking, and if they did mugshots and this and that. And within 2 hours from the podcast ending, we had mugshots online, and Becky wore the T-shirt last night on Raw.
I was going to say, we definitely called the mugshot and the mugshot on the T-shirts.
We did.
I think Eric might have said that. I don't even know.
I think I did.
Yeah,
Eric did breathe it.
But you guys were all on the same page. You knew it was
for sure. It had to be.
Well, I think I said that the booking process and that all it's missing is the mugshots, and then Eric's like, dude, they would sell so many T-shirts. Look at the Vince McMahon mugshot shirt, and that's kind of how it went on. But
I want one.
Yeah.
I do too. Although I gotta say, the mugshot didn't look great to me. Vince's was great.
Yeah,
I wasn't impressed with Becky's mugshot.
Well, and I think it goes.
Ryan, can you pull it up?
Give me 2 seconds.
Now, here's the thing, though, I want to bring this up because a lot of people have brought this up online, is they believe that Becky, I don't want to say smiles too much because that's Finn Balor's problem. She's grinning and smiling, and she's got like that shitting grin on her face.
It's like an arrogant, cocky kind of grin.
But she doesn't she's not selling anything though. Like Ronda beats the shit out of her, and then she's smiling afterward. It's like you got to, in order to make your opponent look good, you got to sell a little bit. So like that face was in all of those like it was a mugshot, and there's but it was almost 3 identical pictures. It's
Could that be kind of a shoot? because
Maybe.
and I'm only saying that because I'm
Like,
hearing like there's some legit heat between the two. So, and I don't know. I mean, listen, that could just be internet, getting
like
it
that
all
Twitter back and forth they had.
I mean, listen, it got it got a little not PG, which was awesome because it really made it like, oh shit, like this is like for real. You know what I mean?
And Ronda did say, the next time I see you, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And
she did.
Usually that doesn't happen. It's all empty threats and I'll get you next. No, she came out and she kicked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, she said, I'll get you next time, Gadget.
But I love when she went after the crowd and she says, you guys booed me out of the building. Right. I did everything I could for you guys. Now I don't care.
It's the Rocky idea.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect.
And she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. It was just perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, because she brought up a lot of legitimate complaints. They booed her in the Staples Center, which
her hometown too. I think,
it was her home. She's from California. She's fought in the Staples Center before. They've always had a nice, warm welcome for her. But like, they were in the mode for like every match, that big match that Ronda's been in the last couple months they've been chanting for Becky over Ronda, Becky over everybody. So it's completely understandable why Ronda's character would feel this way. Now, I feel really funny saying all of this about a character because Ronda and because Ronda called out the fake arm bar from Becky, how she has a fake arm bar. She called out the fake mugshot pictures that she said was taken in the locker room. Triple H came out.
I think it was the hallway she called out.
The hall, it was the hall. She did in the hallway. Triple H came out and called Ric Flair Richard Fleer, and kept calling Batista Dave, and calling him. I was waiting for himself to call himself Paul. Yeah, and then the guy Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live asked if wrestling was real.
That was funny.
Braun Strowman choked him. He should be dead because technically he started choking him before a commercial break and let go after the commercial break. So 5 minutes later, and the guy's not dead. I'm very surprised. But it was like last night was the night
broke the time-space barrier.
Right. Yeah. The commercial breaks don't exist. We forget about that in wrestling. But it was like last night was the night kayfabe died. They're like, it's a show, everybody. We're characters, except now I'm really mad. It's like, well, are you?
I don't know, but you say what you will, but Triple H cut
it was a great promo. It was a great promo. But it was just like, there was a lot of things in it that, like, if somebody else said, they'd get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
There's only so many people that can get away with saying a thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the
Raw was great,
if you want.
Yeah, put that up.
Yeah, put that up.
All right, here we go.
It's got the big screen behind him here.
Just share my screen.
Right.
She's got like that smirk, like that little kid with the Native American guy.
Yeah.
The little kid with the Native American guy.
Like the profile shots look badass, but the front one, like, just that looks stupid. Like, what's with the raised eyebrow? You're not The Rock. Calm it down, Yeah.
I mean, it does almost look like maybe she got hit on that side, so maybe it's more swollen. But yeah, it definitely looks like a people's eyebrow.
Good point. I didn't think about that.
Like
it's raised on the one on the left as well. If you take a look.
Yeah.
Slightly.
But yeah, I mean, listen, it's not a bad idea. First of all, that the little booking thing that they have underneath her in one picture is just, you can tell it's so photoshopped in. Guys, you go to a craft store. I was just at a craft store over the weekend. They have those little felt board with the letters that you put on, like the thing that has like the specials at a restaurant, like the big placard. You just get one of those little ones and you put Atlanta, Georgia, booking number, all this stuff. You do it. Or like call the Atlanta police. Say, hey, we got a thing going on TV. They're probably wrestling fans. Sure, come in, take the mugshot. Like to me, I think Eric might have brought it. We had this discussion last week, and it's funny how it's all coming back around. It should have been more like when the Mountie lost to the Big Boss Man.
So great.
And you see the police arrest
the
boss man.
Fingerprint him, and they do all that stuff. They drag him.
Right, and they could have done that because Becky didn't end up. The whole idea with that the Ric Flair birthday last week was, oh, Becky's gonna come out and throw cake around and have a Guinness bath or some bullshit, like some Stone Cold like some Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. People were coming up with all these weird things, but the whole idea was she got arrested in the middle of the show, so she couldn't come out and do that attack, and then it turned into the whole Batista thing. They could have had little segments intercut throughout like the last hour of Raw that showed Becky getting booked and fingerprinted, and they take the mugshots, and it could have been real mugshots in front of the real wall in an Atlanta police station with the placard and everything. And it just would have been more of a television experience, you know, like we're been gold. Right. We're hearing a lot of, oh, Becky got arrested and here's some mugshots, but we didn't see the whole thing in between. Right. And you don't have to see the whole thing, but it would be nice to get little chunks of like, oh, they actually dragged her away. Oh, they booked her. Oh, they fingerprinted her. Oh, there's the mugshot. Oh, here's fucking, I don't even know who would come in, and like Charlotte comes in and posts bail because she's rich. She's Ric Flair's daughter. She's got a lot of money, and she's just going to post bail to get her out so I can beat you next week or some shit like that. Like, I don't know, just little things, little details sprinkled throughout the show. And not that it was bad. Things are getting better.
Raw was, I thought, I thought it was a great show. It kept me interested all night long. It did.
By the way, Charlotte seems to could not care less about what happened to her father.
Yeah, she wasn't at the birthday party thing. Sting was there. They flew in Sting.
She didn't even say anything like.
No, she doesn't even address
it.
She
said something very nice on Twitter, though.
Okay. We have to remember that the program and the story no longer ends with the program on Monday nights. It continues over onto Twitter and all the rest of social media as well. But still,
Twitter machine.
I feel like Raw, if it's your flagship program, she should have said a little bit of something about it.
Yeah, but you know what? Weird. You know what? I guess it's kind of, she's a heel right now, so it's kind of, I think they want to keep it that way.
I like how they played her last night too, where she's kind of backing away from the situation.
Oh yeah, she didn't want a piece of that.
Well, it was very heelish. It was great.
And that was that's the strategy is probably going to be Charlotte's strategy in the three-way match if and when we get there. Is she's probably going to be really standoffish, let those two kill each other, try and pick the bones, and then eventually the two girls are going to go, wait a minute, we've been spending too much time focusing on each other. Let's go beat her up, and it'll be good. It's just
it'll get a good loss.
We took
such a good decision to turn Ronda last night. Such a good decision.
Yeah, but we took such a convoluted road to get where we are.
Yes.
We were going to get here. This is where we were going to get anyway. Why was it so weird to get here?
Right. We didn't have to make it that complicated. Why'd you have to go make things so complicated?
Ronda vacated the title, but she didn't really vacate the title. So she came back and said, I didn't vacate it. I gave you time to think about it. It's like, well, that really.
Right. That confused us all during Raw. Steve said, wait, I'm confused. Is she not the champion?
It kind of made more sense.
It was very confusing.
Looking back in hindsight, it made more sense after the heel turn because that's more in line with, I want my belt back.
Yeah.
So once she turned, that kind of made sense. But at the same time, you don't have a character put a belt down in the middle of the ring and walk away. That's what Dolph Ziggler did when he gave up the U.S. title and left. Like it implies something. If you,
but that's what they wanted. They wanted you to be confused. They wanted you to be like, "Holy shit! Did Ronda just relinquish the belt?" You know what I mean? Because I was one of them. I sat there and I said, "Holy shit!" Like that's really how they're going to take the belt off her. That she's just gonna never be defeated. Like she's gonna
never be. And honestly, I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, they're so into Ronda. Maybe they don't want her to take a loss. Maybe she vacates the title and the WrestleMania match is for the vacant title. But then they started to say that the Becky Charlotte was
right. That's what I thought was the
Fastlane. Because you know what? If they didn't mention it a couple times last night, I would have totally forgotten there was a pay-per-view on Sunday.
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
I
know you're going more top, but Fastlane, I don't know. It's just.
Listen, I don't think it's a necessary pay-per-view, but it's actually shaping up to sound like on paper it's going to be a decent show. I'm actually kind of
the week before the show they give you a card for it, which is nice.
Yeah, but listen, Becky versus Charlotte. I'm looking forward to that.
The tag team 4-way, right?
What?
Is it a tag team title 4-way or no? Or 3-way?
Which
for the Raw tag team titles?
I don't know. So let's talk about that. So Gable and Rude turned heel.
The night of heel turns.
Right. I mean, they're heel now, which I've been saying Bobby Roode needed to be heel for a long time. So I'm definitely okay with that.
Well, here's the problem. His twin brother Triple H turned babyface, so they couldn't have them both be babyface. So one has to be heel and one has to be babyface.
That's true. Yes, it is on the card. With Aleister Black and Ricochet rounding out the...
Yeah, so Blackochet and Glorious, whatever they're called.
Can we talk about Blackochet for a second?
Oh my God!
First of all, I love them together, but it's so weird.
Oh, I was just going to say the same thing.
They're so good together, and they're so alike, even though the size difference, which makes it cool, but it's still a very odd pairing.
Oh yeah, because they don't have it's not a tag team. They have matching gear or anything.
And it's also weird. Like someone I think it was Justin LaBar. He brought this up. That it's weird that backstage you have Aleister Black talking like a normal person, and then they do that kind of entrance, and it kind of doesn't really add up.
Yeah, his voice doesn't match the whole deal.
He's another one that needs a
just the fact that he's like a regular dude backstage talking, and then they got this badass entrance. Like they don't go together.
The sinister minister James Mitchell would
be perfect.
Could you imagine that?
Oh my God, he's still one of my favorites.
Because Mitchell could stand. I know he's working with TNA right now, but hear me out. He could stand there and summon Aleister Black, and then Aleister does his entrance where he props up.
Yeah.
Oh, with the candles and everything. I agree, Steve. I think he needs a manager, or one of the things people seem to forget is that he's Dutch. And so he, in addition to speaking English almost fluently, because of the European influence over there, he speaks Dutch. I'm not opposed to having Asuka speak Japanese or Nakamura speak Japanese or Aleister Black speak Dutch. If they cut a more convincing promo in their native language, I get it. I don't know if we need to have subtitles or translators, but I feel like if somebody speaks, if Asuka spoke in Japanese and she said she was going to rip somebody's arm off or whatever, you get it. You might not understand the words, but you'll understand the way she's emoting and the way she's saying things, that she's mad. So I don't know. I would like to see that.
Wasn't she doing that in NXT?
I think so. And that's probably where I got that from. And Nakamura at one point, remember, no speaking English?
Yeah. That was so funny.
Vince, check what I just said.
I just felt my phone vibrate. Where'd it go? Here it is. So while I check my phone, I think Raw overall was oh geez, it's a picture of Eric and the Sinister Minister.
So we definitely should talk about SmackDown too, because even as good as Raw was, SmackDown was also just as good. I don't know. The Hardys are back together, so now Matt apparently can control all of his different gimmicks, and he can bring out any one of them at any time, which is very different and interesting. It was kind of cool to hear him talk about Mattitude and V1 and all that shit. So that was kind of cool. Great, always great to see the Hardys back. I do want to talk about Kofi Mania and the story that is unfolding, which I think is great. I love the way they're doing it, how Kevin Owens now got back and they pulled Kofi, and I'm only okay with it because I know Kofi's getting the Mania spot. Everything I heard was that the original plan was that Owens was going to get the Mania spot, Kofi was going to get this one, and they switched them. And I think it's brilliant because now, you take it away from Kofi, everyone's pissed. Everyone's happy, though, because Kevin Owens is back, and he seems to be a face, which is cool. But then, Kofi's going to get the Mania spot, so I'm okay.
And it gets even more of the fans behind him.
Yeah, and I'm not completely, and I think you're not supposed to be, I'm not completely sold on Kevin Owens being a babyface. I don't think he's playing it really down the middle right now.
If he was going to be a babyface, you'd think it'd be against Lashley, because that's the guy that turned heel against him.
You'd think. Now,
but I mean, he's going up against Daniel, and he's completely over as a heel, so he's going to be the face in that situation anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I agree. With Owens, you never know. It can turn at any moment.
But what do you think happens with this Fastlane deal? Does Owens win and then it's Kofi Owens, or is it a 3-way with Brian Owens and Kofi, or is it a singles match with Kofi and Daniel? If Daniel goes over, like I don't know where.
Yeah, and if it is,
in my gut, and I don't know how this is going to play out, or in my gut, Owens loses. Bryant retains the title, and it's going to be Kofi versus Daniel Bryant. And I'm not 100% convinced that Kofi does not leave WrestleMania as champion.
I feel like he's got to, man.
Yeah, we're at a point where he has to.
Like he said, he waited 11 years.
What a promo. What a promo that was. The package was great, too.
Yeah, but the thing that would really make me disappointed is, like, they've got a chance to not redo WrestleMania 19, but they've got a chance to redo WrestleMania 19.
You mean the Booker T thing?
People like you, and by you, I mean the N-words, don't deserve titles. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
My name's Paul, and I don't like you, Booker Huffman. No, I'm kidding. He didn't really use real names, but like they have a chance to redo it. Like I just don't. I don't understand, and we can count. Okay, we can count The Rock, I suppose, but to me, there hasn't really been an African American or black, whatever you want to say, world champion, WWE champion. Let me clarify, because there have been world champions. There's been Mark Henry and Booker T.
Booker.
You know, Lashley's been a world champion in ECW and Impact and various promotions. And, you know, going back to Ron Simmons, who was the first ever black world champion.
Damn.
It's never been the WWE championship, aside from The Rock, who is, you know, again, we're going to split hairs here and say he's half Samoan, half black. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, like,
Well,
he is. But, like, because I don't know. To me, The Rock, God, there's no good way to say this. It's like he's half black, but you never think of it as like he's.
You think of him as Samoan.
Or you think, you know, I don't really think of him as a racial guy, because it doesn't ever seem like he comes up with like.
Well, because he's beyond that. He's the fucking Rock.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to say that it's any kind of racial thing in any. I just like if I classify him, I say he's one of the Samoans.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, he's part of this.
He's
He's
you know,
family,
right?
The dynasty there, because it's Rocky Johnson. Rocky Johnson is the only one from his side of the family that wrestles. When you look at the Samoan side, it's fucking everybody. So that's probably why you know everybody would equate him more at the Samoan side. But like even like politically or like you never really see him talk about that kind of stuff. You know, race relations and things like that. So he kind of stays neutral in all of it, which is, you know, that's a good thing. But this is kind of a different situation. You've got in the New Day. These guys are your top African American or whatever you want, I don't know, person of color stars right now. They're the hottest act that you've got in terms of, you know, that demographic. And Kofi is a guy that since starting, not only was he, you know, a popular African American superstar, but he got over across the board. Kids, adults, white, black, purple, whatever. Like, people liked Kofi for a long time, and we're coming up on 10 years since we thought he was going to first win the world title. Like, we thought it was set up. Randy Orton, Kofi was going to win.
Yeah.
And then things changed. And now here we are 10 years later, and it's insane to me that he hasn't won the world title in this long.
Or Big E, for that matter.
Or Big E. Big E was set up more than Kofi was for a certain point.
The one thing that scares me a little is that I think the inevitable is going to be not only that the New Day is going to split when and if Kofi does win the belt. And I think it's going to have one of them turn heel. Like, I could see Big E turning, or, you know, and it just, you know, I love them together. The New Day surprised me, because I remember when they first came out with this, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be so stupid."
It was dead on arrival when they came out with the choir music and dressed like Malcolm X with the thick glasses and everything. I was like, "Oh, we're just going for Nation of Domination 2.0."
And look what they were able to do. You know what I mean?
And this is to their credit. They saw something wasn't working, and instead of doing the usual WWE thing of doing it every single week until it gets over, they switched it. They took a turn. Yeah. They changed it up.
It's not only that. They have given the three of them a lot of creative control.
That too.
They do write a lot of their own stuff. Now, granted, they have to get it approved, but they have a lot of influence, and that's what saved the New Day. And they're just so great together.
And their natural chemistry with each other.
Oh, yeah, you can tell they're friends. They get along. Did you see?
And all good things have to come to an end. I get it, but
Did you see the It was Kofi was on Talk Is Jericho, I think it was, and he was saying how they he was talking about the freedom that they have for their promos, but they have to bring it to Vince, and he'll look at it and just go like, "What the hell's a fortnight?" You know what I mean? Like he'll look at their stuff, and he's like, I don't know, and they'll be like, "Vince, this is a thing. It's online. It's popular. It's like they do the day." All right, I don't get it. Just do it. Like he. I don't know if anybody else could pitch to him.
He doesn't get it, but he loves the R-Truth and Carmella dancing, and those are like Fortnite dances, aren't they? The floss thing?
Oh, absolutely they are. But I think Vince McMahon loves to dance. Let's not forget this.
Stand back.
There's a story in Mick Foley's book, I think it was, of it was either JR or Mick Foley's book about Saturday Night Live. Metallica was playing at Saturday Night Live. Oh, there was some. I'm confusing two different stories. In one story, JR's in the car with McMahon, and he starts putting on music and doing his white boy dance while he's driving. He goes, "Have I told you I'm a magnificent dancer?" And then on Saturday Night Live, during the warm-ups, Metallica was rehearsing what they were going to play for Saturday Night Live, the live show, and Vince is with Mick, and this was in one of Mick's books. Vince was with Mick and The Rock and Triple H. That was when, and Mankind, that was when The Rock was hosting. And Vince was dancing to Metallica, and all Mick Foley was like, the whitest dancing you've ever seen in your life to Metallica. So Vince is a dancer, man. He's got dancing in his soul.
Remember when every time Flash Funk would come out and Vince would be in the commentator chair dancing?
That was funny. So true.
He loves it, man. But so I don't think there are many people nowadays, aside from like Triple H and the New Day, who get away with that. Like the New Day is very fortunate to be within a certain group of people that has more direction over their character. Because otherwise, you get, you're a guy like Ty Dillinger who gets lost in the shuffle. And I'm not saying that Ty Dillinger was ever going to be a world champion, but he got lost in the shuffle. There's a lot of guys. Yeah, he's gone. That's what I'm saying. He's gone now. You've got EC3 spritzing himself with water and not saying anything. Like, it's almost like you wish that guy was, I'm not EC3, but if I was, I was like, man, I should be back on NXT, like actually having matches and getting more recognized. Like he's just standing in the background with a mirror, like the narcissist.
That's what I don't like. They don't always have a plan for every NXT call up, so it's like it doesn't make sense for.
Did Lacey Evans march around the ring this week, or did I miss that?
Yeah,
she did.
What the fuck is that?
It was during Natty's match.
Right, okay. Right. So that's probably why I missed it. I think I was cooking dinner or something, but I remember hearing that match and I was like, oh, that's not terribly exciting. Ruby versus Natalya. But then I guess if Lacey gets involved, I don't know.
She didn't get involved.
It reminds me of
she just walked back like a fucking idiot.
It reminds me of when they were trying to do what they were trying to do with Eva Marie, where she kept having like these little problems and issues, so she couldn't wrestle. But they brought her out, But it's I don't know.
Feast your eyes on the red-headed vixen of the World Wrestling Entertainment. She, they had the whole thing going like as she walked to the ring. She is talented. She is beautiful. Blah, 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 blah,
and I think they're going to make Mandy Rose what they had intended to make Eva Marie as.
Mandy Rose put her fucking working boots on the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, she's already better than.
I think we talked about this at the women's Chamber rather, not Hell in a Cell. All the women in that match.
Oh, they brought it.
Sonya got better. Mandy got better. Liv was better. Everybody just,
Mandy does nothing for me.
Who's that?
Mandy. Nothing for me. I don't see it. In the ring, I don't see it.
You know how when you go and get your eyes tested and they say number 1, number 2, and then they flip to the next slide, number 1. Dana Brooke or Mandy Rose? Are you which one fits your prescription?
I think Mandy Rose is stunning. So based on looks, Mandy Rose, but in ring, I think they both suck. But I think
I like the way you set that up. You were ready to give like a nice answer, and then boom! Oh,
Mike's skills. I got to give it to Mandy.
Slapped it down.
I like Dana. I think she is. I like her in the sense that I guess, the theory of Dana Brooke, a former gymnast. I
mean, they definitely presented her much different in NXT too.
Yeah, but she was like a CrossFit competitor and a cheerleader and a gymnast and all this stuff, and she could, she does that flip when she comes out. I like the idea of that, but then I realized that that's just Alexa Bliss, really. Like, Alexa Bliss is the cheerleader gymnast style, but Dana's like the thick version of that. Not there's anything wrong with that, but there's that just nowhere for her to go.
Entrance when she comes out and does the whole she peels up her arm it's weird. It's like weird watching Dana do it, but Mandy does it better.
Yeah.
I get that because I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I like the theory of Dana Brooke better than Dana Brooke in practice. And the one time I liked her, Steve really hated her because it was when she was with Titus Worldwide.
Oh.
And I thought that was like the best. She could stand there with the clipboard and the glasses and do her
the
thing.
Stenographer.
All right, yeah. She was away, but she wasn't wrestling. I don't know. It worked a little better, but yeah, there's a few girls that need some work. Just like the men's roster, there are a few girls that need work, and a few that are the top guys. So
I don't know if you guys got a chance to see NXT, but Sasha and Bailey showed up in NXT.
Yep.
And hold their roster. Basically, we're going to be here too. We're going to be defending the titles here too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
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 They got a tremendous ovation.
Next week there's an open challenge.
And Izzy was in the crowd and had no idea Bailey was coming out.
Oh, wow.
Who?
The Izzy. Little girl.
Oh, the girl was there. Oh, that's cool.
The Bailey super fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the crowd reaction? Good?
It was amazing. And you can tell
Izzy crying?
Sasha and Bailey had such smiles on their faces like they were back home,
That's fucking cool. I got to go back and watch that then.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to watch 205 Live tonight because they're starting. I don't know if they're starting, but it's either starting or in process, that cruiserweight tournament.
Yeah.
And tonight, Humberto Carrillo faces longtime Northeastern New England Territory wrestler Oni Lorcan, the former Biff Busick, gets his shot, and maybe he's going to make a little bit of a run. So, if you come from this area, he wrestled in Chaotic. He wrestled in Top Rope and basically, the Fall River area, Holyoke, Boston, north of that into New Hampshire, Maine. He worked this territory for years and years and years, and then they signed him to NXT, and I thought he was going to die a death because they named him Oni Lorcan, which just it sounds like an exterminator.
You know what saved him? The tag team with Danny Burch.
And those two guys hit so fucking hard.
They complement each other.
I met. I don't want to say I met him because I was working. I was setting up the ring at a show, and Danny Burch was there. It was one of his last shows before because he was NXT, but he was part-time, so they let him work indies. And this is one of his last shows before he was officially full-time NXT. And he's not super tall, as you can tell on TV, and it's not like he's 300 pounds, but when you go over and you shake the guy's hand and you just look at him physically, he's ripped. It's just tension. You can just tell every muscle in his body is fucking tight, it's just getting ready to choke you out. He presents this air of toughness even for a guy that's not the traditional wrestler size. And that's the same thing that Biff/Oni has. They're not the tallest, they're not the biggest, but they're killers. I
think Ciampa has that too.
Yeah, though when you get to that, they have the size of somebody who lives in the woods. They got lost in the woods for a while, and there's no body fat on them, and they're just ripped and mean and ready to go. I like that, and they hit hard. That's the other thing that was their strikes and the uppercuts, everything. And I'm sure doesn't hurt as bad as, you know, a real punch or whatever, but damn, they kind of lay those shits in there. It's good.
Oh, you know, going back to the tag teams real quick, do you think we could see Hardys versus Usos for the SmackDown tag titles at Mania?
Maybe. I think that's where they're going.
Yeah, because great match. Or they're gonna do the ladder match, like the clusterfuck ladder match, which I would be okay with seeing.
Well, if they're gonna do that, then it might as well like merge the tag titles then.
Yeah. Well, I want, because I'm kind of hoping, and I know this really wouldn't necessarily make sense with the stuff that's going on in NXT, but if there's a big tag team clusterfuck ladder match, I want DIY in there.
Ooh.
Like I know you already know what those guys can do in a ladder match, and if like Ricochet and Black were in there, like who I don't know that they're
can do that currently.
Yeah, I mean,
storyline wise,
right? Because they have to finish their story at Takeover the night before, right? Like that's got to be the big blow off.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, because like it's different because Ricochet and Aleister Black, they kind of finished their stuff in NXT, so they can be on the main roster. But the other, you know, Johnny and Ciampa, they kind of have to finish that off.
Yeah, I agree, and it's still kind of weird that they tag with each other like on the main roster, but they still made it clear that they didn't entirely trust one another.
They're still, they're still, at least in NXT, within the confines of NXT, they're still, right. You know, in fact, they're going to be tagging in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, but I think it's because, like, you know,
that has to set up.
Yeah, because Ciampa brought up, like, you know, the only reason you lost the title, your North American title, is because I offered help and you didn't take it. We worked better together, and then, you know, he reluctantly shook his hand, and Candice LeRae, of course, is pissed at the whole thing. So,
and I'm assuming that this time around, they have to lose where Ciampa is the one that takes the pinfall, and Ciampa is the one that is responsible for their loss. Because if he's responsible, then it can flip around and say, you know, then maybe Johnny will snap out of it and be like, hey, you know, you said all this stuff. It really wasn't because of you. It's because of me. You know, I can prove that I'm my own man, and we'll go on to Takeover. So maybe that'll happen. But I like the tag team wrestling is back.
I'm absolutely loving Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about Heavy Machinery?
Yeah, we had a gauntlet match last night, which, I mean, come on.
Great. It was a good match.
It was, but it was just like you knew
that backstage thing. You hurt my feelings.
That was so like, it was so bad it looped around to being good.
It was hilarious.
It was like, I think it was intentionally bad. Like, it was like an old 80s TV. It was like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Where like the mean kids were talking about somebody on Saved by the Bell.
It's like Otis, he's got something. He's got that charisma, that character.
It's too bad the other guy doesn't.
Yeah, you know, Tucker's kind of just there.
He's a good
though.
Yeah,
he's a good hoss.
He works. You know? No, he works good, but it's just like he's almost like just the big brother kind of.
I mean, that's what the character works for.
Yeah. But it's just funny how like the little guy has all the charisma, and then the big guy's got like, you know, not as. I guess maybe that's always the way it is with your Enzos and Casses and your
the Caterpillar.
Oh, Enzo. You gotta mention Enzo for a sec.
Oh, God.
Go.
You've been wanting to.
So Enzo, he had good intentions. I'm just going to say that. Where, you know, he heard about the unfortunate passing of King Kong Bundy. And he starts saying stuff about he was our childhood, blah, blah, blah. And then he says something like, I loved when he used to bite the turnbuckles and he had a green tongue. And clearly he got mixed up with George the Animal Steel. Bada boom, dumbest guy in the room. How you doing?
And then didn't he do hashtag King Kong Buddy? BUDDY?
Yeah. Maybe they were buddies.
But you know, like, you're in the business. How do you not, like, it's one thing if a fan or even a non-fan can't mixes them up. But Enzo, you're in the business.
Well, this reminds me of a story from Simon Gotch. He did an interview after he left, and he said that when they were in NXT, someone brought up Manny Fernandez when they were with Dusty, and Enzo didn't know who Manny Fernandez was. and they're like, you don't know Manny Fernandez and like Dusty were a tag team. They were tag team partners. Like, you know,
partnered with Rick Rude also.
And, right. And like he doesn't, I hate to say he was just in the business to try and get himself over and get famous, but I don't know if he was a wrestling fan. Right. I don't know how big of a fan.
He could have been a late bloomer though. And like, he got into it maybe during the Attitude Era and never really wanted to know the history. There are fans.
Up with Cameron saying that her favorite match was what was it? Alicia Fox versus Melina.
Yeah.
And Austin was like, really? That? You have all these matches and that's your favorite match?
Yeah, that was, and it was not even a good match. Like if it was a good match, I could almost understand she was trying to name a women's match that was good. But like, say Mickey and Trish at WrestleMania. You know, just say something that's a real match.
Trish Victoria Jazz triple threat.
How about Alicia being the reason Arn Anderson got fired?
Oh
my God!
She'll be wished the best in her future.
It's like the JR thing with when who was drunk? Flair.
Yeah. The video game that was for like a WWE 2K press conference or question. Let's get this out of the way ahead of time. Allegedly. We're just going to use that word to cover our entire conversation here. Allegedly. So the story goes.
Actually, I got one better. Yeah. Everything from here forth is under allegedly.
Yes. We are under the allegedly umbrella now. We've popped up the allegedly umbrella. So allegedly, Alicia Fox showed up to a house show drunk, and Arn Anderson knew she was drunk and still let her go out and wrestle, which
stupid.
If that's the greatest, not the best decision. I don't know.
And as far as
take it all with a grain of salt.
She got taken off the road, but is that it for her punishment?
Well, I heard that she was offered rehab, and she declined.
She went AWOL, like after, like they made it. She's gone. They're going to say you're fired.
Right. That's pretty much.
Yeah, she's got to take the ultimatum at this point now.
Yeah,
I'm just glad there were no scissors involved with an Arn Anderson incident. I just, I get nightmares over that whole thing years ago with Sid.
And they weren't they like safety scissors? They weren't even like real scissors.
I don't know.
I don't know. But poor Arn. And I would say poor Arn. He's probably a fucking millionaire.
That was a poor choice.
It was a poor choice, and I feel like there's a little bit of like
even putting him in that situation though. Too.
Yeah. But I also
like, is there more to this story?
There has to be. There's always more to the story. But to me, like, it's the wrong decision. He shouldn't have let her go out there and wrestle. But a part of me is like, he has that old school mentality of, well, you wanted to come to work in this shape, you're going to go out there and work in this shape and see how you feel afterward, and try and like teach her a lesson.
Because he's got the old school mentality,
right. So I thought maybe that was like his rationale was like, well, she's going to go out there and learn a lesson and she won't do it again.
Does anyone know how the match went? Like who she even wrestled?
Good question. I have no idea.
That hasn't been reported on.
Yeah, you'd think they would if they knew that much. You'd be able to pinpoint which house show it was. And with social media the way it is nowadays, you could probably find clips of that match pretty easily if you knew where and when it happened.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to pull like a Jeff Hardy TNA thing.
Kind of like the Asuka injury. We have video of her getting dropped.
She says she's okay, though.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, but, also a wrestler says they're okay. That doesn't mean that they're okay.
From that angle of that video, it actually didn't look like it was that bad of a drop.
She landed on her head for sure, but hopefully, it doesn't lead to any problems. We're so close to WrestleMania. It would be really unfortunate if she got herself injured.
Very
just
unfortunate.
Before the big show. So I don't know what this whole Arn thing. Obviously, he's probably set for life in terms of money. I mean, if they need him in All Elite or they need him somewhere else, I'm sure he can find MLW or Ring of Honor. So if somebody wants to hire him, they'll hire him to produce matches or agent matches. So,
or they fired him to do something, and no.
Yeah, I mean, it also doesn't mean we'll never see him again.
This is true, but it was kind of funny that Vince fired him right before the Ric Flair birthday celebration.
Yeah,
and then he couldn't be out there to celebrate. Like it was just
that's kind of shit.
Yeah, but I guess it had to be done.
I don't know. Part of me also thinks like the opposite of what you said. Like because of him being a vet, you'd almost think like he would never let her out there if he knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's listen. It's definitely a strange decision. I'm just trying to figure out why he would have done it. If he in fact he knew she was drunk,
right? Allegedly.
Why? Right, allegedly. But if the story goes that he knew and he still sent her out there, yes, that's bad. But then why? Why would he do? Like, it's a very
confusing choice.
Like, and like Eric said, there's more to this story. There's definitely more to this story. We don't have either.
What if it was,
hey! I was just gonna say how we didn't have Kat tonight because she wasn't here. And here's Kat.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How's my babies?
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. It's
caught us off guard.
Yeah, no, we were because I was trying to say we didn't have anybody to look up our questions, but I see you screenshotted the email for me.
I did, and it's actually rather hilarious.
Well, and then also Amanda sent a screenshot earlier in the day.
Oh, nice.
Of something that she got off Instagram too.
Yeah, so
maybe we should hit those up.
Loving the shirt, Vince.
Thank you. Yeah, so Kaylee's email. Thank you for says, "Hey guys, this is not really a question about anything, but my boyfriend is an idiot and wants to know if you can tag him a date with Seth Rollins when I know it won't happen. I'm sorry, guys." I mean, never say never, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're a listener of the show, you have to have the backstory because that's the dude that was at my house that night that every time we said Seth Rollins was having the fake orgasm and rubbing his nipple.
Yes, yeah, he was the world's biggest
Seth Rollins fan.
So kind of poignant that I'm back tonight when that happens.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'd have to work some kind of magic, but we are going to WrestleMania, so maybe we could put a good word in for you, buddy.
I mean, her boyfriend's name is Larry, by the way.
Steve did run into him at the airport a few years ago.
I did. I made the network.
I was going to say this shit is on tape forever.
Yeah, Steve was on Total Divas, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, that was hilarious.
You were on, weren't you? And you were on what, the WWE 24 or a Chronicle?
I was on 24. Yeah.
Man.
No, but the best is when you're on Total Divas is like I think we all texted you at the same time. Like, was that you? Was that you?
Steve? Oh my god.
Yeah, I got a lot of messages. Holy shit, dude. You were just on the network.
That's pretty great. Let's see here. We have questions from Amanda's Instagram as well. For those of you who ask questions, you're entered in our monthly pay-per-view pick'em for WrestleRumble.com. I'm not sure if we're doing Fastlane or if we're going to go right into WrestleMania.
Just right to WrestleMania.
Right to WrestleMania.
Right
so
to WrestleMania.
all the questions that are being asked for now will be put into a big pool, and then one name will be drawn. And if we don't read your question today, we will get to it, but I think we got to everybody's. Anybody who asks a question using hashtag askthewarreport or askthewarreport@gmail.com will be entered into our pay-per-view pick'em contest for WrestleRumble.com. You'll receive one free entry to WrestleRumble.com where you can enter your guesses for WrestleMania and hope to win one of their big prizes if you finish in the top 10. It is only $5 to enter WrestleRumble.com, but like I said, if you'd rather not spend the $5, send us a question and we'll ask it. And if you're one of those lucky people selected, you will win a free WrestleRumble.com pay-per-view pick'em. So, from Amanda's, these are the three, Ryan, right? Just those three. Okay, so we've got hd.jmd.1984. Have you ever went to WrestleMania? And Amanda, that was a deep cut for her. Good job, hd.jmd 1984. She's very sad about not being able to go to WrestleMania this year. You're just rubbing dirt in the wound.
Yeah.
So we're trying to convince her to come. I don't know why. What was the deal? Was it a passport thing? Was it I don't even know.
SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, she was going to SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's in Toronto.
SummerSlam is in Toronto, and I just found out that Money in the Bank is in Hartford in May. So I think it's May 19th. May
I might
19th.
go to Fastlane.
Oh no, May 19th.
May 19th. So to answer your question, for me, I've been to WrestleMania 29 in New Jersey, 30 in New Orleans. Missed a couple in between. I didn't go to Dallas and I didn't go to San Francisco, but I did go to Orlando and I did go to New Orleans again, and I'll be going to the Meadowlands, MetLife, whatever you want to call it, stadium in a few weeks with these guys. So I don't know how many WrestleManias everybody else has gone to. We'll send.
I can't even count. I've been to a few at the Garden. I've been to a few in.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're in the area to go catch those WrestleManias that always happen every couple of years in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, so I mean, I did some Gardens. I did.
You must have done 10 and 20.
I did Florida. I did.
Florida was the one that Stacy got you for
Atlanta
anniversary. Atlanta.
The anniversary took me to Atlanta, and that one being Edge's last match.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. I've been to a lot of manias. There's still probably some more I haven't even mentioned. I've been to many, and it's an experience of a lifetime. You can't explain it. It's just to see it on TV is one thing, but to be among 70, 80, sometimes 90,000 wrestling fans, it's incredible. If you can afford to do it when it comes to your area or close by, you got to do it.
And it was awesome being in Dallas when they beat the record from the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah,
the Superdome, Silverdome.
I'll tell you what, though.
I was at WrestleMania 10, and my dad took me when I was really little to WrestleMania 2 when it was in the 3 spots. So I was at the Nassau Coliseum for part of it.
Which matches did you get to see there?
I got to see George the Animal Steel versus Macho Man Randy Savage. I remember seeing Jake the Snake Roberts. I didn't see King Kong Bundy wasn't at that part, so I was kind of PO'd about that.
Well, if you were Enzo Amore, you wouldn't have known the difference between George and King Kong Bundy anyway. So it's good. And Ryan, you said you went to one, which
31.
California? 31, yeah.
Out in San Fran.
That was a cool. It was pretty cool. It just didn't get dark fast enough because it was
no, it did not. Taker's entrance was bright as all get out.
How was it? What was it hot?
So disappointing.
What was the weather like when you were sitting there?
It was annoying till it got dark. I was actually warm the entire.
Oh, I'm sure.
Uncomfortably
if you're sitting on the wrong side of the stadium and
I was in the sun.
Oh, man.
At 29, I went to the bathroom when P. Diddy came out because I couldn't care less about P. Diddy. But unfortunately, the line was so long that when I came back, I missed the end for Alberto Del Rio, and I was so pissed.
It was actually, and Diddy put on a hell of a performance too. Actually, it was actually very good. It was a good performance. A lot of pyro, and it was good.
I feel like I'm fortunate because the musical guests that I've seen, like Diddy wasn't bad. Living Color played Punk to the ring at 29, so they were really
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
I just watched that video again the other day. That was pretty cool. And
that was cool.
And I know people are gonna have different opinions about this, but in Orlando, when they came out and played Green Light, everybody lost their minds for Green Light when Lunchbox Lewis and Pitbull and all those guys came out. They actually did a very good job. And I know they were probably singing to a backing track. It's different than a live band, but still.
Oh, you know what? Steve and I were at Dallas 32 when Snoop Dogg came out
with Sasha, right?
Yeah, that was.
No, did anybody see Kid Rock? Was at WrestleMania 25?
Oh, God.
I remember seeing it, but I wasn't.
I saw it from my living room.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody was at that one live, right?
No.
Yeah. No. But he was just singing the women out for the women's battle royal. How far we've come.
Was anybody there for the Motorhead?
We're Motorhead. And we're going to kick your ass. No, I wasn't there for that, unfortunately.
Let me go into the Celebrity Hall of Fame this year, please?
He's got to.
Can we talk about real quick because we're getting to the top?
Yeah.
Can we talk about whether or not we agree about this decision of Tori Wilson being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, we buried the lead on that one. This is
my personal opinion is I don't really understand exactly what she contributed to the business. I mean, she was never great in the ring. She was okay for that time period. She was okay. She was better.
Like, was she gorgeous? Yeah, of course. But
beautiful. But outside of that, I mean,
one time. And why is Gail Kim defending it?
They're probably friends.
Now,
who cares?
Now, Gail Kim should be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe not WWE Hall of Fame because she really.
Well, she's in TNA's Hall of Fame.
She's in TNA's Hall of Fame.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
She deserves that.
Rightfully so.
There's a hell of a lot more women that should have gone in before her.
Her fucking dad.
Yeah, Dawn Marie killed
having sex with Dawn Marie.
Oh my God! That's
poor Al Wilson.
Al Wilson
had to go.
And she made out with Sable or something, right? Tori?
Yeah, it was something she made out with
for Vince McMahon or something.
Oh, and then they got married, and then they were on their honeymoon, and he took Viagra and had a heart attack. I don't know, some shit like that. It's crazy.
It's stupid. It's a very stupid pick, and like we have China going in with DX, which is great. And then you got Tori fucking Wilson.
But yeah, you'd think they would have picked
and Honky Tonk Man. Let's not forget about Honky.
I'm happy about Honky Tonk Man.
Very happy about that.
So is Brutus still a rumor then?
Yeah.
Brutus? Oh my God.
Wait, what a rumor?
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, that's a rumor so far. But I'm
Christians too, because they never confirmed that either.
Yeah.
I don't mind Christian and Brutus possibly going in. I have no problem with either one of them.
You ready for Hulk Hogan's induction of Brutus the Barber Beefcake? We were clanging and banging in Santa Monica, brother, and then we went over to Trader Vic's. You know what I mean?
They're in a huge feud, right? But they're in a huge feud right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. They don't like each other.
No, I think they resolved that.
No, they resolved that too.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
I heard that. Yeah,
they were friends for long enough. You hate to see something like that happen.
I'd like to see Edge and Christian get inducted, and Christian pull the whole trying to induct himself again.
I think Christian should come out with a blue mask on. Vince McMahon's blue dot theory. For those of you who don't know, he thought Christian was so boring he wanted to put a blue dot over his face when he wrestled.
Is that why he had Austin call him a creepy little bastard?
I think so. Yeah, Vince McMahon, I don't think was ever Christian's biggest fan, but hey, here we are. We'll knock these last two questions out and then we'll call it a day. Kingsman 36. Does it make me less of a man for crying when the Shield reunited?
Great question.
You know what? If it's an angle in wrestling and it puts you to tears, then that's how much you love the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean listen, this is like the third or fourth time they've done it, so I'm not exactly
cutting onions over here. It's gonna be the last time because
you never know.
Everything I'm hearing is that Dean is not going to be leaving.
Now I've heard both now, and it's just you're not gonna know until April.
But it's interesting how they've been actually saying on, like Michael Cole was saying, like all the commentators were saying he's going to leave. So it's
not
kind of weird that they never bring that shit up before.
Yeah, it's a weird. The whole thing is kind of a weird.
It makes me think that Ambrose is staying.
Right, it does kind of when they address it like that. It makes you think he's staying.
Yeah, it's a little too hard on the nose.
Yeah, when does WWE confirm it on their website? Months in advance to them leaving.
Yeah, they usually don't talk about stuff like that.
It's normally we wish you well in your future endeavors and you're done with it.
Get the fuck out of the office.
Right.
Unless you're released to Fox, because then you're still allowed to be around.
But we could look at it as a last-ditch effort either to try to make him stay or just the fact that they know he's leaving, so they wanted to get it out of their system.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that stinks is like usually when they reform, somebody gets injured or suspended. So you don't want that to happen again because it really does seem like every time they reunite, something bad happens. But also, like the really good thing, the encouraging thing was they didn't have Roman come out and say he wanted to be entered into the WrestleMania match with Seth and Brock.
Right.
We were all afraid he was going to say leading.
Yeah, or like I want to be your first match when you beat Brock, or whatever.
Something along those lines.
They're doing exactly what you said, Vince. Not to rush him back in. It looks like they're going to feud him with Baron Corbin, which is the right move. Keep him, there.
Yeah,
Let this match happen.
I don't want that match at Mania though.
Yeah. Listen, it's better than the alternative. It's better than
true. That is true.
Than it becoming a triple threat or Rollins giving up his spot because this is the better of the evils.
Like, can you imagine if they pull the Hulk Hogan like they did with the Yoko Bret Hart thing? If they do that with Roman, oh my God!
Oh,
go get him, brother!
God.
Oh so man, what was that? WrestleMania 7 or 9? That was 9.
9.
It was the day after my birthday.
That was Caesar's.
Yeah, Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, that was backwards out on a camel.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The last question was from Maple Leaf Tom. Who else would you like to see in this year's Hall of Fame?
Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, like guys, we need to start recognizing some of these guys that maybe are ones that you don't think could get in, like an Owen, and I know that there's
Rick Martel.
All right, we're going to say what about Rick Martel?
There are definitely guys that need to be recognized. What is that?
Is Jake Roberts in yet?
Or like Haku or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, is Jake Roberts in yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake's in the Hall of Fame.
He had a great Hall of Fame speech.
Jake went in the year Warrior went in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like and again, maybe the Powers of Pain aren't a good example, but you know what I mean, like
Or Demolition.
Yeah. Right? I would be cool with those guys going, and I don't know.
Why is Demolition still not in there?
Well, because there's that whole
the concussion lawsuit.
The concussion lawsuit.
So there are a couple guys that aren't going to get in because of that. There's like a class action. I think Bundy was
actually part of that lawsuit.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, listen, and I think in terms of the women, we talked about this a little earlier. I couldn't give you a specific name right now. I'd probably really have to give it a think.
Molly Holly.
Okay, there you go.
Victoria.
I was going to say Jazz. One of the women that was a good worker, because like Tori wasn't really a worker. You know what I mean?
Victoria.
That's like putting Stacey Keebler in. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, they have both had long careers with WCW and the WWE, so it's not like they just left after WCW got bought out. They actually did contribute to the wrestling business. I understand there's a case for them, but like in terms of significance, I don't know.
Put Elizabeth in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luna Vachon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. People who made more of an impact than like
I mean, baby steps with China. At least she's in with DX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that might be as far as they go with her, but that's good. At least they're acknowledging.
Even so, it's still nice.
Yeah. No, it is nice, but that's probably it could be that they're only going to do that for so long.
I mean, look at that. Look at X-Pac and the Outlaws. They must be thrilled because they might not get in on their own. So
you think?
I don't know about X-Pac, but I think the New Age Outlaws would have been a deserving tag team to go in on their own.
Yeah, I can see the Outlaws.
Badass Billy Gunn couldn't get in as a solo act.
No,
and neither could the Road Dogs, technically.
I mean, but all together,
I love them to death, but what they contributed as a tag team is way different than what they did in solo careers.
Absolutely.
My God, my name is Billy, and I still absolutely suck.
Oh man!
What was the other team he was in where Rico was his their manager?
Billy
and Chuck. Yeah. Was that song "You Look So Good to Me"?
Oh gosh!
That the wedding on SmackDown with Bischoff.
Yep.
3 minutes. Did someone say 3 minutes? And he takes his makeup off.
Segment.
Oh, that was pretty good. Nobody knew it was Bischoff. We should probably pack up though, huh? We're getting towards the top of the hour.
We are there.
It's only recapping last week with Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens came in and everything.
Okay. Right here. Excellent. So, thank you for those people who asked questions. All 4 of you will be entered into our pay-per-view pick'em for WrestleRumble.com the end of the month, or I should say the beginning of April, because you're going to get a WrestleMania pick'em for that one, rather than a Fastlane pick'em. If you have questions, hashtag #AskTheWarReport on social media, @TagMeADate. Put the account in there too. You can askthewarreport@gmail.com. Instagram and Twitter is @TagMeADate. YouTube, you go to youtube.com and you go to the search bar, you type in Tag Me a Date. It's all one word, Tag Me a Date, no spaces. And you get to our Tag Me a Date channel. You can like the videos. Please subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like to get alerts when we go live or upload a new video. We do go live every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. Remember, daylight savings time is this weekend, March the 10th. So that affects, if you don't move your clock and you still listen to the show, you have to adjust your time that you log in to listen. So just remember that for next week. And yes, of course, I can't forget, tagmeadate.com is absolutely 100% free to use. It is a dating site exclusively for fans of professional wrestling. And you can find your tag team match on tagmeadate.com by choosing from our roster of over 70,000 superstars and divas. It works great on your laptop, tablet, or mobile device. And very shortly, aka WrestleMania weekend, you will get Android and iTunes App Store apps. They will be available for download, so your website experience will be condensed into an app form, and that again is going to be free to download, and we'll give you more information about that as we get closer to WrestleMania weekend. If you see us around WrestleMania weekend, I think we're going to have some little cards that we're going to be handing out to people with the link to show you how to download it and install it on your phone. So I think that's about it. Tagmeadate.com, give it a look. It's free to sign up, free to send messages, free to match with people, and if you're a wrestling fan, you know that they're wrestling fans. That's the whole thing. You don't have to try and break that into conversation somehow about, oh, you like books and Game of Thrones and fancy. I like wrestling. You know, it's like
you don't get that awkward. You like that fake stuff,
right? It cuts that out. And then you don't have to choke them like Braun Strowman. Yeah. Please don't choke anybody when you're on a date, guys, unless they ask for it. Idea. Unless they, unless they're, then you can do it. But don't.
Some people are into that. You never know.
Everyone's got a fetish.
Yeah, there you go. Find somebody to choke it. No, we can't say that. That's not the slogan.
Someone into that choking.
50 Shades of Wrestling.
Yes, absolutely. So for your tag team partner, go to tagmeadate.com. It's absolutely free. We'll be back next Tuesday. Remember to adjust your clocks for daylight savings time, but we're going to be back Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for watching.